to all of the witnesses, if you have personal knowledge of a single material fact in the Schiff report, please raise your hand. And let the record reflect no personal knowledge of a single fact. And you know what? That continues on the tradition that we saw from Madam Schiff.
Wow, I promised you guys, and I guess this makes me a liar, that I wouldn't make another impeachment video unless there was something big. Well, I guess this counts, right? This is by the Daily Wire. Pelosi makes it official. We will impeach Trump. And he has a response, apparently. Of course, it's Donald Trump. He always has a response. But they're making it official. And I can't wait to see where this goes, honestly, because if you read the report by Mr. Schiff that he put out the other day, 200-something, 300 pages, they didn't really add anything new. And as you can see from my opening set of videos, I don't know what they're going off of, because anybody would have a brain who's seen into this stuff knows it's not going anywhere. If it gets to the Senate, it's just gonna get voted down. I even saw, if you're relying on basically conspiracy type things or or secret back alley ways to impeach the president, it's not going to go well. I saw articles of Democrats trying to figure out ways we can get these never Trumpers and these Republicans who secretly hate Trump now to vote not present or just not show up, and then we only need about 66% instead of the what is it? I think it's 3/4 to impeach him. Just stop. It's not going to happen. I don't think the Democrats understand what they've done through the impeachment. Is they before the impeachment happened, you had a divided party that you were running against. The Republicans were coming together, but when you started this impeachment process and worked it through this bull crap that you're doing, it solidified the Republican Party. So you're not going to get any dissenters. And you want to know what happens? If any one of these Republicans vote to impeach Trump, they might as well kiss their office goodbye. They're not going to get reelected because they've all, I guess how they say in some of these news circles, they say they circled the wagons around Trump, and they're ready to defend him, which they should. He's the president. He is part of their party. I say they should. But I don't. That's not always the case. Obviously, if there's something actually wrong that we've got proof of, then we can go after it. But this whole process they've been doing is a sham, and this is just a bad precedent to set. Especially if they can convince that if they can make that work, where they're just if they get a bunch of these never Trumpers to just not show up, and then you manage to impeach the president with only a 2/3 instead of a 3/4 or whatever. It's just, what kind of precedent does that set? And do they think that the Republicans are more likely to set out a vote and set that precedent than to show up and actually make a vote either way? It's just the mental gymnastics you have to think that's a possibility is just crazy. And these latest sets of witnesses that they're bringing up have just been a joke. The academic scholars they brought in the other day, I made a comment about that. Oh, that was another one I brought up, but it's just none of them had any actual proof. The lady they brought up was just this insane feminist lady, and she went on to insult Barron Trump and tried to say that Trump was trying to turn into the House or the presidency into royalty or something, saying you can name him Baron, but he'll never be one. Jesus Christ, like that's who you're bringing up. That's who you're choosing to represent your side. She sounds like one of those insane, like, I guess at this point, fourth wave feminists have been lurking behind in the shadows this whole time because she's an old lady, and now her insane ideas can actually flourish. Oh, it's just it makes my head hurt. And then you see these articles. They're in full on panic mode right now. I'm gonna link this other article too. I'm not gonna read that crap, but there's a whole other article. I think I forget who it's from, Reuters or something, or maybe just some Yahoo column. I don't remember. But it was like, what do we do if Trump loses in 2020? Which now they're admitting that the impeachment is probably not going to work. Is basically what they're saying. What happens if he loses and he chooses not to leave the office? Jesus Christ! Like they're setting it up to first. I think this has got to be some kind of, like, I hate to say conspiracy theory. This has got to be some kind of, like, tactic they want to use of, like, trying to say that he's trying to turn himself into royalty, or trying to, or he's not going to leave if he loses. Remember at the beginning of the election, they were saying he's not going to accept the results of the election. Like, the Democrats are the one who are doing that, and this man's on his first term. Like, you've got no evidence that he wouldn't accept the result of an election. Like, Hillary Clinton's the one who can't accept the results. The Democrats have been trying to change the results for the past 3 years, and now we get articles coming out saying, like, what can we do if he tries to stay in? It could start a civil war. It could do this. Could destroy the Constitution. Oh, if only they cared about the Constitution. You got Adam Schiff subpoenaing people who are not part of this trial. Like Devin Nunes, just reading random people's phone statements that have nothing to do with this. Like, he never had proof of any of this stuff, and he's got no. He doesn't even have, like, a reasoning why subpoenaing these people's phone calls would get him any further. If anybody's phone calls you want to subpoena, it'd be the president's, wouldn't it? Because Giuliani is, like, maybe the only other person who could even you could even say would be relevant. Because obviously Giuliani was the mouthpiece of the president, but you'd have to go through him and say, find Giuliani saying that the president said X. Wouldn't you want more of the president's transcripts? Obviously, they're not going to come out with more of them because they don't exist, or there's nothing there. It's just what a crock. How do they think this is helping them? If the Democrats are just, I think they're up shit creek too far, and you're just left with Pelosi running the party and Adam Schiff trying to run the party. And at this point, they're just going off the cliff. I think they got too far in, and they're drinking their own Kool-Aid, and it's not going to end up well. When they said that they wanted to impeach the president, I didn't think they would ever actually get to this point. I thought they were going to just try and make an inquiry so they could get out dirt on him, and then eventually say, we don't have enough hard proof, but look at all this right before the election, and then maybe just trail off the impeachment. Don't actually say yes or no, just kind of trail it off. If you do this, and Trump before the election gets to come out and start he gets to put Joe Biden on trial. He gets to put Adam Schiff as or subpoena both of them, not on trial, but get to interrogate them. Like, this is not going to end well for them. You got your leader, Joe Biden, or your front runner. I mean, for the nomination, having him on stand embarrassing himself, and more than he's already embarrassing himself, I guess, because the man is challenging old people to push-up contests because they're saying he's too old. Oh no, Joe! Oh no, Joe! It's falling apart, much like your body, which is getting bloody eyes and falling asleep in the middle of debates. Like, oh, Joe. But anyway, let me read a little bit of this. It's insanity. It's a bunch of people who never got over Russia or the Russia collusion stuff, even though their own reports never claimed anything. They have or never found anything. They claim they found obstruction of justice. Why isn't he being impeached for obstruction of justice? Is it? They have a legitimate case there, and he's telling witnesses or of his own cabinet to not testify. There's stuff there, but what are they doing? What are they doing? You've got all these options, but you just choose not to go after the legitimate ones. It's just a clown show. All right, let me read a little bit of this article before I go insane. Oh, I'll make a note of it later. But as I said, Joe's already slipping. I think he slipped like 2 points in the polls, and they already don't want Bernie to win. But Bernie is fast approaching second place to first place, and if Joe gets up there and has to testify, and his son, it's just Hunter, it's going to be an embarrassment. I know you don't want want Bernie to win, but you're handing it on a silver platter. I know you think Elizabeth Warren is going to win, but I have another video coming up. She's polling fourth place behind Pete Buttigieg. She's like 9% in Iowa. Like, it's not looking good for her. I wouldn't be surprised with the amount of money she's spending if she doesn't drop out soon. All right, let me read. A day after the House Judiciary Committee's impeachment hearing, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made it official Thursday morning. The Democrats are moving forward on drafting articles of impeachment against the President Donald Trump. The president's actions have seriously violated the Constitution, Pelosi told reporters on Capitol Hill Thursday. The president, she claimed, leaves us no choice but to act. Notice how she doesn't say what part of the Constitution he's violating. She never mentions that. Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and our heart full of love for America, today I'm asking our chairman to proceed with the articles of impeachment, said Pelosi in comments reported by CNBC. While the speaker addressed the media for 5 minutes, she notably took no questions. There is also a video of Pelosi who was questioned and said, ask why she has so much hate for Trump. And she went full, like, she lost it. She went Joe Biden mode. She's like, I am a Catholic woman and I have no hate in my heart. How dare you? The drafting of the impeachment articles is now up to the House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler. Within minutes of her announcement, both President Trump and the White House responded. The do-nothing radical left Democrats have just announced they're going to seek impeachment of me over nothing, President said. They already gave up on the ridiculous Mueller stuff, so now they're hanging their hats on two totally appropriate, perfect phone calls with the Ukrainian President. Trump tweeted after Pelosi's announcement. This will mean that the beyond important and seldom used act of impeachment will be used routinely to attack future presidents. This is not what our founders had in mind. The good thing is the Republicans have never been more united. We will win. And he's right. As I said it before, the Republicans are extremely united these days. It's just been a divide that's been happening. I'm pretty sure I showed a poll or a little scatter graph of it like a month ago or something like that. And it's you can see the voting pattern where in the 2000s and up to now, it got more and more during Obama, and then especially now that Trump's the president, you can definitely see they're voting straight down party lines a lot of times. So if you're bringing the impeachment to a Senate that is almost all Republican and they're voting down party lines, What do we think's going to happen? I don't care how many of them you think are going to not vote. You're still outnumbered. You still have to get 2/3. You don't even have 2/3 of the Senate. All right, whatever. Let me read a little bit more. I'm not going to read all that. Yeah. Only one of the witnesses, George Washington University's law school's Jonathan Turley, was a Republican requested witness, while the 3 Democrat witnesses all maintained the Democrats' pro-impeachment arguments. Turley, a self-described Trump critic who voted against Trump in 2016 for both Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, argued that there's indeed an abuse of power going on, but by the Democrat-led Congress, not by Trump, and that impeaching on such thin evidence is a dangerous precedent. And I agree with that. It is extremely, extremely thin and very dangerous precedent to set, that we shouldn't be. If you're going to impeach a president, it should be a bipartisan thing. Excuse me. You should be able to get at least half of the Republicans on board, or whatever the other party is, because it should be so egregious that everyone can agree. This isn't something that should be splitting hairs or a political venture you're going on to try and do this. It's just dumb to go there, and it sets a bad precedent. I don't know where this goes from here, but I mean, what do they expect to come out of this? I even think it may have been because their witnesses were going so bad. Who was it? It was it Sondland or Taylor, the guy, the bald guy? I can't get their names all together. I watch too much of this crap, but I'm pretty sure that man was a plant. When he was getting grilled, and he's just like, it sounded like he was a double agent. He was the guy that Schiff ran out midway through and was like, we got him. I think it was Sondland. We were like, we got him, and he goes to CNN and he's like, we have proof. This guy is saying that there was quid pro quo and he's bribing the president of Ukraine or whatever. And then right after that, the guy, I think it was Jordan. He was like, so, is this all true? Is there proof? I think I have the clip. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it at the beginning of this video. But oh boy. All right, kids. This is going way too long to be rambling about this. Please like, share, subscribe. Please have a great day. I am exhausted, but I'm here bringing the big impeachment news. If anybody still cares. All right, guys. See ya.
Ms. Williams, do you have any information that any person who has testified as part of this impeachment inquiry, either in secret or in public, has either perjured themselves or lied to this committee?
I have not read the other testimonies, and
so you do not. Do you have any evidence, though, that they have perjured themselves or lied?
No, because I have not read them.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindeman, do you have any evidence that anyone who has testified before this committee in the impeachment inquiry has perjured themselves or lied to this committee?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. I yield back. Is it correct no one on this planet told you that Donald Trump was tying this aid to the investigations? Because if your answer is yes, then the chairman's wrong and the headline on CNN is wrong. No one on this planet told you that President Trump was tying aid to investigations. Yes or no?
Yes. Which, I mean, even though you had 3 opportunities with President Zelensky for him to tell you, you know what? We're going to do these investigations to get the aid. Didn't tell you 3 different times. Never makes an announcement, never tweets about it, never does a CNN interview. Ambassador, you weren't on the call, were you? The president, you didn't listen on President Trump's call and President Zelensky's call?
I did not.
You've never talked with Chief of Staff Mulvaney?
I never did.
You never met the president?
That's correct.
You had 3 meetings again with Zelensky and it didn't come up.
And 2 of those they had never heard about as far as I know.
And President
There was no reason for it to
President
come up.
Zelensky never made an announcement. This is what I can't believe. And you're their star witness.